2021 is coming to a close, and as you guys probably know, it wasn't the best year ever, although it was better than 2020, which means that 2022 can do much better. And especially for me, because I just turned 18, which means that I get more freedom and get to explore the things I haven't been able to previously. So I'm really excited for 2022 and want to make it the best year it has been yet. So before I talk about what I want to manifest into 2022, I'm going to reflect on what I learned and what I gained from 2021. So for my own personal purposes, I'm going to divide each of what I wanted to achieve here in this video into groups of 5 because I like patterns. So what did I learn in 2021? So I guess some of the things I learned in 2021 was that I really get stressed when there's nothing to do. So basically in the snowstorm or the snow apocalypse, as some Texans call it, I really didn't have anything to do, and that really stressed me out and caused me to stress bake a lot. And then that leads to my second discovery about myself, which is that I self-destruct when I'm stressed. So this year I got diagnosed with this gastrointestinal condition where I had to stick to a really strict diet where I couldn't eat gluten, dairy, some certain types of fruits and vegetables. And that was a really big struggle for me, but sometimes when I did get stressed, I would just end up eating a bunch of bread or a bunch of cake or a bunch of cookies, which obviously I'm not supposed to eat because I'm gluten intolerant and it made me feel sick, but I did it anyways. And other times I would decide to deprive myself of sleep even when I didn't need to do it and there was nothing to do. And sometimes I would destroy my room in terms of cleanliness. So I definitely realized that there's a pattern here, and I do want to fix that before next year. And then a third thing I learned about myself is that I'm a very lazy person. I didn't realize this until senior year, but I really am a lazy person. I will not want to walk to the bathroom or not want to get out of bed, the typical things, but also I feel like that laziness has wasted a lot of my time, and I definitely want to work on that as well. And then the 2 other things that I learned about myself are a little bit more positive. So one thing that I learned was that I actually like spending time with people. So when I did the personality test, the MBTI personality test, I discovered that I was an INTJ, which is basically an introvert, and I kind of focused on that part of my personality, as in I'm an introvert. I don't like staying with people. I don't like going outside. I like being inside. But in reality, I discovered that I actually do enjoy time with people, as long as they're good people and they're people I like. So yeah, which means that I want to spend more time with people in the future. And then also another important realization about myself was that I really enjoy traveling. And this year I haven't really been able to go on big trips or anything, but we did go to Austin, Houston, and then I took a day trip with my friend to a nearby state park, and I really enjoyed planning things out and figuring out itineraries and actually going on the trip itself and being tired after a whole day of traveling. So I think I really want to devote the rest of my life, basically, whenever I have a holiday or whenever I can get a break, to go on a trip. And right now I have a lot of bucket lists about where I want to travel in the world, and I also decided that I wanted to maybe get to all the national parks in America, so those are some goals for me. So the next part I'm going to talk about is who I want to become. So the reason why I'm doing this instead of what I want to get better at, I want to become a better runner, or I'm going to become a better drawer or something, or artist, is because I've learned that in terms of manifestation, it's actually better to make these goals as part of who you are and what your personality is, so that you're more focused on it. So obviously one of the first things I want to become is a traveler, because as I mentioned before, I really do like traveling and I want to travel more in the future. So that's definitely on my list. And that comes with being a photographer. So I want to become a photographer. I've loved photography a long time, and I'm probably going to get a camera soon, a nicer camera, instead of taking shots on my iPhone. So hopefully I can actually travel around and take photos as well. And then my next thing is being a YouTuber, because obviously I'm here, making YouTube videos, and I want to create more content in the future. And then the next thing is a skateboarder. So that might come as a surprise, especially if you know me in person, because I definitely do not seem like that type of person. But I think anyone can skateboard, and I recently started skateboarding a few weeks ago, and I actually really enjoy it, and I want to become better at it, especially because in college, like transportation, skateboarding is a good way to transport yourself, but also I want to learn a few tricks. And then the next thing, and the last thing, is like a self-care guru, if that's what you call it, I don't know, but I definitely want to take care of myself more, not just mentally, but also like in terms of like, you know, going out more and like dressing up for myself, or you know, looking nice for myself, and yeah, taking care of myself in general, and making sure that I don't spiral out of control. So the next part of this video, I'm just going to talk about a few inspirations, and these are kind of restricted to YouTubers because like I just look at their lifestyle and I want to like live like them more, and obviously like I don't want to become them, but I think it's good to have like goals of what type of person I want to become and how I want to spend my time. So Melissa is just basically Ryan Shirley. He does a lot of 4K drone videos, and if he's traveling, he travels basically all around the world. And in the future, hopefully I can travel around the world and, you know, have a drone and like be able to film all these beautiful places. And then my next one is Kelly Wakas. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he is also a YouTuber. His like motto is like do what excites. So I definitely want to do like create mottos for myself and actually live up to them, and set goals I can achieve them. And then also Annie Long is an inspiration because she definitely does take care of herself a lot and gets through a lot of routines and like habits to make herself better and constantly like on a path of growth. And then my next one is Elena Tabor, I don't know, but she is like also like a traveler and like a solo female traveler sometimes, and she goes backpacking as well, and I want to do that too. And then my final one is Study Quill. She's not really like a traveler, I don't think, but she does a lot of studying videos and like productivity videos, and I personally also want to do that in my YouTube channel, but also become more productive as a studier as myself. So I've mentioned all these things, like who I want to become and like what my inspirations are, but I obviously have to like work towards them. I'm meant to work really, really hard towards them, but I do want to achieve what I said, so I'm going to get there, which means that I have to create some goals for myself. But I'm pretty bad at sticking to my goals, especially when they're like numerical, because I realize that like halfway through it, I'm like, oh, this is pointless, like there's a better way to get there, or like I don't want to stick to this anymore, there's other things I want to spend my time on. So I think I'm gonna instead like take Kelly's approach more, which means like I'm gonna try to like make mantras or mottos for myself, and obviously 5 is kind of a lot, but I think these are the things I'm gonna keep in mind as I go about and make choices. So I think the first thing that comes to mind is create, not consume. Basically, I realize I spend a lot of my time just looking at my phone and just like scrolling through Instagram or whatever, which honestly is a waste of time. Sometimes I do find inspiration or like resources, but most of the other times it's just either for like pointless, not entertaining entertainment, or yeah, so it's really pointless to me, and I think it's a waste of time. I'd rather spend my time making money or, you know, creating things. And I don't think creating just comes down to like videos or like Instagram posts or whatever, but I think it also comes down to creating money, because that is important too. And then also like creating friendships, creating food, you know, all those kind of things, like just creation, not consumption. And then the next one is Life of Habit, I think, because one of the most transformative books I read, one of the most transformative books I read this year was called The Power of Habit, and I really enjoyed this book, and I learned about like how there's a cycle of cue, routine, and reward. So like, you know, anyone can create habits for themselves and they can stick to their habits, but also habit is like a muscle that you have to work on. So you have to continue working on that habit to make it actually a habit. So I think building my life based on habits is going to do a lot better for me in terms of like how I deal with my stress and how like lazy I am, because if I'm in a habit loop, basically like your brain like auto loops for you, so you can't really control it, which would be really nice, especially when I'm too lazy to do things. And then the next thing is to take risks more and leave my comfort zone, which is pretty like cliche and typical, you may say, but my friend's been like helping me work on this. And so like every time like, you know, I go to a restaurant, I want to try something new, because like obviously sticking to things that you're comfortable with are good, but also like you'll miss out on a lot of things if you don't try them. So yeah, that's something I really want to work on. And then the next thing is people platform. I couldn't really think of a good what is it called, alliteration, but I definitely want to be more open to people and talk to new people, which is really difficult for me because I definitely am still an introvert at heart, but I want to meet new people and learn to socialize more. And then last thing here is do it immediately. So when I think of something, obviously it's not like impulsive, but if there's something I need to do and I think of it in my mind, I want to do it immediately before I get too lazy or don't want to do it anymore. So that is definitely something I will have to keep in mind. So obviously this video is more for myself than for anyone else, because I'm going to look back on it from a year from now and see how much I've achieved and how much I haven't achieved. But if you did enjoy it or like found this helpful, please let me know in the comments, and yeah, Happy New Year!